Hey everyone, welcome back. Kathleen here, and in today's video I'm going to share with you how I blow out my hair and style my hair so that it lasts. My hair it's extremely dry and it has a tendency to frizz in the humid weather, so I'm going to share with you some products that I use that I have tried and tested over the years that have really truly helped me. First off, I shampooed my hair with Hydrate, and it's from Kevin Murphy. I don't know if you're familiar with his products, but it's a hydrating shampoo. I find that anything hydrating on my hair works really well, especially because it's so dry and color treated. While my hair is still damp, I do a couple of different things. I use K18, and I'll leave a picture of it up here. That is a leave-in conditioner, and I just put like 1.5 pumps of that into the palm of my hand and then evenly distribute it throughout my hair. Then I take this product here. This is from Orbe, and it is called Hair Alchemy Fortifying Treatment Serum. And I take like the size of a nickel, right? And I put that into the palm of my hand, and I also distribute that throughout my hair. So I don't use a ton of product, but I do layer on a few different products, especially because it does have a tendency to frizz. Then last but not least, I'll go in and I'll put like the size of a pea of this styling product on it. And this is the Smooth Styling Cream from Living Proof. Now, this I've been using for years because I have never found anything to replace this, because it really does keep the frizz at bay, and it feels nice on my hair. It doesn't make my hair feel dirty. I think a lot of times with finer hair, especially if it has a tendency to be frizz, like things can start to feel weighed down and feel very dirty. But if I layer these on and just use a minimal amount, I really find that that's my best bet moving forward. Okay, so I hope that helped you a little bit trying to figure out what products work best for this type of hair. Okay, so I just finished re-wetting my hair because it did air dry, and I'm gonna go in there now with the products and show you how I distribute that. I do use an Aquist towel to dry my hair. I wrap it up as soon as I'm done in the shower, and then I let it sit up there for probably a good 10 or 15 minutes before I start to style it, because it will draw a lot of that moisture out of the hair too. I do sleep on a silk pillowcase because I find that that really has helped a lot, especially in the back of my head where the hair started to really start to thin out and start to break off. And since I started using a silk pillowcase, I have found that that friction rubbing against a cotton pillowcase has stopped, and I have a lot less breakage. Plus, it's just better for your skin overall, like a silk pillowcase. There's no friction rubbing on your face. So I'll go in first with the Hair Alchemy. So I'll take about that much. I find that if I rub my hands together and just kind of tap it into my head all over, that's the best way to evenly distribute it, as opposed to just going in there with like one clump. I'll take a wide tooth comb and I'll brush through it. Next, I'll go in and I'll use the Smooth Styling Cream from Living Proof, and this is a game changer. So I'll go in, I'll use about that much. Again, I'll just rub my hands together, and I just kind of go in there, run my hands through it. All these products smell fresh and clean, and they don't weigh the hair down, is what I like best about them, especially if your hair has a tendency to be fine. If you're using too many products, can really weigh the hair down, and it gets really heavy and dirty looking after a day or two. Now, what tools do I use? So I will go in there and I will use the Dyson. This is the Supersonic R blow dryer. I've had this now for about 2 years. I absolutely love it. It's very lightweight. I can hold it while I'm still doing my hair. I don't have to keep putting it up and down. It's a great blow dryer. I have a whole video on it, and I'll leave that link down below in case you're interested and need a new blow dryer. Then I'll take a round brush about this size. I'll have 2 claw clips. That's just to so I can section off my hair and do it in sections. I find that doing it in sections just keeps it more organized while I'm blowing it out, so it's not smoother on one side and straighter on the other side, or frizzier on one side. So using clips really does help. If I need to, I'll touch it up afterwards with this long barrel curling iron this is from Bionic. And I love it because you can do it 1, 2, 3. You don't have to take a lot of little sections. You can go in there and take like 3 big sections on each side. Now, I start with the front piece here before I do anything else, because I find that if this part up front is blown out properly, then it just kind of frames the front of my face, and it just looks better and lasts longer. So what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll kind of blast blow it and take maybe 75% of the moisture out of the hair. I keep the hair wrapped around, and I keep it blowing it going down on the shaft of the hair. I don't want it to go up, or I don't want it to come in this way, because if I do it that way, what's going to happen is the cuticle on the hair is going to open up, and it's going to cause more frizz to the hair. So you want to go in the direction of the hair, the way that it grows, so just to avoid that from happening. So the style years ago was to take that round brush and bring it up high and blow dry it, but what happens when you do that, you will get a lot of volume at that root area, but then it has a tendency to get very bubbly looking, and the styles have sort of gone away from that look where they're more flatter to the head and a little bit like closer and more textured looking. So what I do is I take that brush and I'll bring it down as opposed to going up and blow drying it. Now this is when I'll take the clips and I will lift this part up, and then I'll start and do like the whole lower perimeter of my head. And you can see I'm bringing it down. Now my hair has a tendency to get really frizzy and curly underneath here, so I'm really trying to get that really smoothed out underneath there. So I don't know if that happens to your hair, but they refer to it as Irish hair, in case you're wondering. Okay, so then I'll just keep going around my entire head. I'll go up to the next section, and it's basically about 3 sections. I'll do my lower, my middle, and then my upper, and just continue to blow that out. By doing it that way, taking those sections and taking your time in doing it, your blowouts will last so much longer, and they will just look so much better too. Okay, so this is my hair blown out. It roughly took me about maybe 10 minutes to completely blow it out, and that was when it was pretty wet. Okay, that's what it looks like from the sides and the back. Nothing too amazing, but it's wearable. Now, if I want to take it up a level, this is what I would do. I'm going to go in there with my flat iron and just go through it very quickly and just kind of smooth out, especially any of these pieces underneath here that have a tendency to get very frizzy looking. So I'll show you what that looks like. So I'll go in, I'll spray it with some heat protectant. I'm gonna use this one here from Kuhn. I'll go in, I'll spray my hair, just a couple spritz, and then I'll go in and I will blow dry that back into my hair, because I don't wanna go in there with a hot flat iron and then just sizzle my hair. If you are gonna be going in there with a blow dryer and a curling iron or a flat iron, just make sure that you are using a heat protectant. That's really important, especially if your hair is dry to begin with, has color treated, and it has highlights on it like mine does. Again, I'll take these clips, I'll clip up, I'll start from the back, okay, get that up out of the way. And see underneath here, I don't like the way that kind of like frizzes up and kind of rolls under. I don't like that rolled look. So I'll go in there and just smooth that out real quick. I'll use this is the Bionic, this is the 10X flat iron. Start with my fingers first and just kind of give it one pass going down. And you can see the difference, right? That this side and this side looks like this side is kind of frizzy and up, where this side looks a little bit more polished looking, and that's really what I'm going for. Then I'll reach in the back, I'll show you. Maybe 2 passes, I'll go over here. And that already for me helps my style because I don't get that like rolled up frizzy look on the underneath part. And the temperature on my flat iron is at 340, so it's not all the way up. And again, this style will last me 3, 4, sometimes 5 days, again, like depending on what I'm doing. So it's worth it for me to spend, I don't know, 20 minutes doing my hair, and then I don't have to worry about it. I just want you to see the difference, right? So if I go up here, especially where it's really frizzy and it's hard to get the brush in there, and bring that down. I don't bring it straight down, I kind of bring it under a little bit. Then I'll grab up here, and I use my hands because it's not that hot, and just kind of pull it down. Now, it's just a slight difference, but it does make a big difference in my opinion. You can see how this side just looks smoother. So the goal is just to smooth it out, right? And have it look more polished looking. I think that's really important, especially as we mature, that our hair doesn't look frizzy and dry and just kind of like haggard. And you see these like little pieces underneath here? I'm gonna go in there with that iron and get them smoothed out. Those are the pieces that drive everybody nuts. I don't care if you're young, old, or who it is. Like I have brides come in all the time and they're always complaining about those little baby hairs around the outer perimeter of our face. So there you have it. That is the finished look with a flat iron. Again, now if I was going out somewhere and I wanted to bump it up a little bit more, this is what I would do next. So these are like 3 different ways to style your medium length hair. I would take this long barrel curling iron, okay? I would start from the back, around it, right? And then gradually bring that down, grab the piece over here. This is the section before that, go in there. Grab that and kind of gradually slow it down while I'm bringing it towards the front of my face, because I really don't want to roll there. I just really want to get some movement in the hair. I would probably stay away from this front piece because I don't like when that gets curled, and go in there and just kind of glide that iron down the side of my head. So when it'd be done, you'd probably see like 3 curls like that. Take my fingers, and then just kind of run my hands through it just to give it a little bit of movement. I would go in and just kind of maybe touch up a piece or two, like this piece underneath here. That will just give it a little bit more elevated look. Okay, so I'm gonna be done curling it. It would look something like this. And then I would just take my fingers and just run my fingers through it. And kind of play around with it a little bit. Take the back. Run my fingers through it back there. So that would just elevate it just a tad more without it looking too overdone, right? Especially with medium hair, like we don't want to get in there and make the curls like way too tight to our head. So going in there with bigger sections, not leaving it on too long, and just kind of pulling it through the hair as opposed to just letting it lay on there close in one big roll, you'll get more of a texture type look. So again, you would take that iron, kind of recap a little bit, because this can be a little tricky. Grab that hair, go in there and kind of pull it down like that, as opposed to going in there and just going right up close to the head and giving it a curl. And then I would take like some type of finishing spray. I'm gonna use this air wax here. It's a very light wax that kind of will keep everything in place. And just lightly spray it. Just to kind of keep those weaves in place so that they don't get lost and kind of fall into each other. And you can kind of like move the hair with this wax. It's very light, and then kind of give it more of a piecier type textured look. I'll show you in the back. But the secret is not going in there with too much product. You know, we just really want to be very strategic about how much product we're using, not overdoing anything, and just kind of tailoring it to us. So just kind of recap real quickly what we learned. Go in there with the shampoo that best fits your hair. I use a hydrating shampoo because my hair is dry and color treated. If you're just color treated, go in there with a color treated shampoo. And next, go in and layer your products onto your hair that will best help your hair. If your hair is super fine, you probably don't want to go in there with too much product. You probably just want to go in there with maybe a root lifter and something very light. If your hair is coarse, you would want to go in there with more oil type products or like a mousse to kind of keep everything, you know, together and not like have it explode, because a lot of times with thick hair, it just gets very thick. Next, you would go in and just section your hair off, because that's just really going to keep it organized as you're blow drying it, as opposed to, you know, just start blow drying all over. If you go in there and do it in 3 sections, number 1, it'll be quicker. Number 2, it'll last you longer. And number 3, it'll just look better at the end. And then number 4, decide, like, do you want it just blown out? Do you want it a little bit smoother with a flat iron? Or number 3, do you want to go in there and take a curling iron and just kind of give it a little bit more movement to the hair? If you're interested, I do Zoom consultations, and I can leave a link to that down below in case you're interested. And what we can do is we can just kind of discuss, if you're at that stage in your life where you don't know exactly what you want to do with your hair, what makeup you need, if you're having issues with your eyebrows, your skin, whatever it may be, and we can just hop on a quick Zoom call and discuss any of those things. So anyway, I hope you gained some value from this video. My name is Kathleen, and I create content for mature women who like simple, effortless type of looks. So if that's you, please consider subscribing. All right, everyone, bye-bye.